All right. Well, we're gonna call the meeting to order at 6:29.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No?
It is 6:29. I'm sorry.
Hey, no, no, I'm okay. We took a deep breath. Um, there you go. Or it could just be 6:30 if we want to. It's 6:30 now.
Yeah.
All right, call the meeting to order at 6:30. Officially, let's go into the roll call, please.
Commissioner one. Commissioner Fake.
Present.
Commissioner Gupta.
Yes, here.
Commissioner McCormick.
Present.
Commissioner Vijay.
Present.
And Commissioner Sabiti.
Here.
And or Chair V.
No. Secretary's report.
Thank you, Chair. Via this, the agenda was posted on Friday, August 8th at 5:22.
Now for the order of the day.
If the commission is okay with the order of today's agenda, then we can move on to the next item.
Is there any reason why we wouldn't put them up, or is that just gonna be at the regular comments on things not on the agenda?
Yes, item
Okay.
6.
Okay, all right, that's good. We'll stick with that then. So we can go into the approval of minutes. Can we get a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion? Yes.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, great. All those opposed? I didn't ask that. Okay, we're good. And now we can go to public comment on items not on the agenda. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'll give you a.
3 minutes.
It's not, yeah, it's not as nice as,
No, I can't see it, but that's okay.
I got you right here.
Okay, very good.
All set.
It's great. I listen when you guys, whenever there's some sort of activity, to have the Arts and Culture Commission, have members of the Arts and Culture Commission out there. That's great. When people see you again, they're gonna get to know you and go, oh, who are those people? You know, so that's the Arts and Culture Commission. So thank you for being out there. You know, we had these three were out there. Were you out there too on National Night Out? Okay, well, the three of them.
We all,
Oh, yeah.
all of us.
Or you all showed up. Oh, you know, actually, yeah. I said hello to you too. I said, okay.
She was over there.
So that's good though.
The whole team.
Yeah.
So that's good when everybody shows up, you know, and that's a good thing. You know, I'm looking at your agenda, and so you know it's kind of cool. What you have here, it says Gilroy art-related community event updates. Whenever there's a community event, you know, let us know, especially if there's anything that is going on in our parks. There's some sort of event, and come over to the Parks and Recreation Commission. You know, we meet every month too. Or if you see one of us, let us know. So, because if there's anything going on in our parks, we love going to anything that's going on in our parks. You know, whenever there's any sort of activities, you know, be it all the sports activities. So anything, if you guys got anything, so any of your events that are going on in parks that you know about, we can help you guys advertise. Say, hey, look what's going on in our park. These arts people are coming. So you know, let us be your support. You know, also, we just had our recreation assessment, and again, if you guys working with, you know, and the recreation guide that just came out that goes all through. They have a section on arts, you know, on arts activities, classes, and everything else. So get in touch with, you know, somehow if there's any way you can support them and give them help, guidance, volunteering, whatever you guys can do to get more arts on there. And I don't know, maybe in filling out the forms,
Right.
that for the recreation assessment, I think people did put some art activities that they wanted. So and cultural activities. They wanted more cultural activities, and that's you guys. Oh, cultural activities. And again, this is just like with the Indian dance group. Oh, you know, the National Night Out. Amina had the Councilmember Vijay had her dance group out there. See, that's the kind of stuff that you guys can really support. So make sure that you know, tell people, hey, and even right here, you know, whenever there's a city council meeting, if there's something coming up, and even if you don't get to us, you know, I go to every city council meeting, and Stefan will tell you,
Yeah.
you go up there, it takes 1 minute, 2 minutes, go up there and advertise advertise your stuff going to them. Say, hey, look, and people watch that stuff, and plus, and they're the people that, and they have contact with all kinds of, they're the people. They send out a message saying, hey, there's this thing coming up, arts and culture. Why don't you guys go? Every council member has got a bunch of people that they're in contact with. So, go up there and just say, hi, I'm with the Arts Culture Commission. This is what we got coming up. Please, advertise. Let us know. So, and see, and even here at this meeting, whenever there's something going on, if something good comes in our Parks and Recreation Commission meeting, as soon as there's a city council meeting, hey, this is what we discussed, just so they know what's coming. It's always good to keep them informed as to what's coming. I go to different commissions too, and I tell them, hey, this is what we discussed, and you guys might be interested in hearing what we're discussing too. But the council does too. So if there's something good that comes out here, again, but then you have you discuss your Arts and Culture Commission annual presentation. That'll be great, and that'll be good given. But even besides just the one annual presentation, make it more regular than just the one annual presentation. Make yourself a regular saying, hey, this is what we got coming up, we could use your help and support.
Thanks, Fred. Love
That's
it.
right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's good.
Sheesh, I'm hyped now, man. I don't want to sit there in this meeting now. Oh, man. I appreciate that. If we can go on now to old business, item 7.1. We can review the work plan for fiscal year 26-27.
Yeah, so this is an ongoing agenda item to discuss the Ocean Culture Commission work plan items and receive updates from any commissioner or committee. The commission is currently focusing on 2 projects, the For the Love of Gilroy Public Arts Campaign and the Multicultural Community Days event. Staff is working with communications and engagement to update the For the Love of Gilroy project website. It should be updated by the end of next week. The project will go out in the city's newsletter on September 4th, for the first time shortly after we open the submissions, and then the information will go out several more times on the city's newsletter until we close for submissions on December 4th.
Thank you very much for the update. That was what I was gonna ask for that one. So I appreciate you providing that. Is there a specific question to the marketing materials? Do y'all have everything you need from me as far as that is concerned?
Yes, we received your updated version after the last meeting.
Yeah.
So, communications and engagement is looking at those, and those will go out shortly after the newsletter on September 4th.
Okay. Great. And I have I don't know if it's I guess it would be like a recommendation that we use some of the photography that we put to work, some of the photography that we did from the first convening or unveiling event, because I was looking through that and there's some really good photos. It'd be a shame to not ever use them. So I feel like if we're gonna do a post on social media that isn't just the flyer over and over again, I think it would be good to have some photos of the unveiling event or something, and then with like obviously with the informative caption around what our call to action is during that time. So I think that'll be good use of those photos.
Yes, I can give them a suggestion.
Thank you. Any other questions from the commission or comments about For the Love of Gilroy?
I do. During the National Night Out, I actually went to the library's table and I asked them if we could leave some of our flyers there. And so they just said that if we can provide like a stack of the flyers, then they can actually hand them out. So yeah, like I know that we had a stack already printed, but I don't know if it was passed out at the end of National Night Out.
We did see it.
All of it was passed out? Okay.
No,
so-
a couple of them left, I
We
guess.
passed a lot of flyers.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I even walk the middle of the tents and talk to many families, give the flyer to them,
Yeah.
and some
Because that's the
Or-
only material we
Should
have
work,
to
yeah.
distribute.
it worked.
So we
It-
did.
Yeah, the Mehndi and the flyer and the leaf rubbing work.
And we like it, like the engagement of the people, they love it. They say, okay, there's gonna be come, we would love to participate it. So it was a great event.
I love that.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting that we drop off a stack at the library as part of the promotion?
Yeah, so they did specify that one, if we can find the supervisor, whoever's there at the time, so one for the supervisor to put on their community board, and then the rest they'll put in wherever that's, like, they leave out flyers for folks.
I love that. Thank you. Any other thoughts, specific to to the love of Gilroy?
Could
And then-
we leave some flyers at our art center on 7th Street?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Just to
Anywhere,
be-
like a small businesses
Mhm.
and like a Starbucks, they are allowed to.
Oh,
There's
true.
an bagel companies, they are allowed to. There's a couple of stores, like they allowed to put their flyers over there. So I think even we distribute with all of each of us, we can just walk and who is willing to put our flyers, we just put it there.
I like that.
So as much people get it, the more community involved in it.
Yeah, I agree. Is there anything is it worth us just kind of like having a steady list of like folks or locations that we like know automatically should receive information like that? Like, you mentioned some private businesses like,
Yeah.
Starbucks or something, but also, like the cultural or artistic institutions within our city. So we immediately know like when we do something, they're kind of first to receive the distributed
Or if
material.
they don't allow us to put it like a lot of, we just post it there, like in Gavilan College. If they allow us, I think they love to allow us. Schools, districts, they love to allow us. So this kind of institution where kids are coming and going, that one. And also Morgan is including too, right? Or no, just specific Gilroy?
Yeah, Gilroy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I can try the Christopher High School too. They can allow to.
Yeah, high
So
schools.
there is a swimming pool area. It's closed nowadays, but like my concern is where there more traffic with the kids.
Mhm.
The parents will take initiative.
Oh,
Ruben, I plan to be there at our last summer live series on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Is that okay to hand it out then?
Oh, I
If
think that would be a great
grab some?
idea. Mm-hmm.
There's quite a big crowd there, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
I'd be
agree.
happy to hand them out.
Mm-hmm. We have, so what's the protocol for like, is it just coming by here and picking up a stack of folks for us to like help distribute? Is there more inventory right now? Like, do we have flyers that we can just like take on the way out, or do we have to maybe come back another day?
I think we might have a few left over from National Night Out, but other than those, we would have to print more.
Okay,
The double-sided one pager.
Yeah,
yeah.
that would be great.
That doesn't come out of budget, does it?
Does it say cover it?
So, our communications and engagement team has a budget, but I think, I don't think we can make abundance of,
Yeah.
at the print conference.
Yeah,
But I like the idea of, if there is a community board at each of these places where you can put up a flyer, I think that's certainly manageable.
Yeah.
And, that should not be an issue.
Or we can use our resources too if we need more.
Yeah.
Yeah, volunteering, right? I can put on my open houses too. That's right.
hey, exactly.
Promote the Gilroy. Why not? It doesn't look boring, right? Hey, if you don't want to buy a home, don't worry, just join.
I love that.
Are there official channels for, within the city to like, for example, to like, is there an internal way for us to send this directly to the school district digitally?
Yeah, so, a couple thoughts on that is, within our communications and engagement team, we have our own social media presence, right? So I would fully expect this to be promoted through all of our channels and, other, community partners are subscribed to what we call as our email, weekly email express. So this would certainly be included in that. So whoever's subscribed, which is probably one of our biggest audience,
Yeah.
they'll automatically receive it, whether it's the chamber or whoever else is. So, I think we'll get good coverage.
Right, but through this platform, as a commissioner, we can present it there too. Our presence, like Ruben is have a very good presence on the social media too.
Yeah, you
Can-
certainly as community members, you can share what we
Share.
put out on our social media or even your own.
Oh,
social
okay.
media posts, yeah.
That's great.
Yes, I would encourage that too, either, well, one, I think, or it's both. I think we repost what the city's posting to kind of increase the engagement there. And then if we feel comfortable, then also promoting on our own
Fun.
channel, so that way, folks can see that in our community, so. Sound good?
Good.
Okay, multicultural community days, I know last we chatted, we were considering what does a fundraising, like a more comprehensive fundraising plan or a plan of execution or work plan looks like for that. Do we have updates to share on that front?
Yes, we do. We discuss a lot about it. It's a lot of work. So we divided everything, like how can we work here? So we prepare outline, we share with Kylie to check with the city how they. Wendy have information too. Unfortunately, she cannot make it today. So Sumbal has some information about the permits. I'm trying to reach out the Gilroy Business Association to get more information how to conduct the event in there. And Wendy is working on the farmer market, like get some information from there too. So far we are trying to get we make a list of the fundraising, like how can we fundraise, as we discussed many times, through the tabling, through the vendors, and DJ will be involved, like food vendors will be involved. So we make all the outline and share it, and we get the guidance on it through it, like how many budget city have it, because if we provide the table and tent, or if we ask them, they bring their own table and tent, then what the price will be, or if we provide them, so where's the price will be. So that's the things we are looking for. The major thing we are trying to find out the venue, like either a casa or downtown. We need help on that too. So everything we write down on the outline. And the main after these things, the main thing is how to raise a fund. This is another thing which we definitely create another team or commission to work on it specifically, because it's a lot of work. So we want to categorize, like the fundraising team will specifically work on it, how to raise a work. If not, if we want to do it, then how can we add on it? So that's the thing. And the permit wise, Sumbal have some information about it, how to get the permit and about the food. So would you like to share some?
Yes, have it digitally, it's not printed out, but the key thing was that there was a lot of information related to vendors and permits. And so my first question is, before I go into any of that, do we have any exceptions, or do we follow like the standard, what the public needs to follow? Okay,
A special arrangement.
okay, there's no special arrangements. Okay, good to know. Because that is a lot of documentation, like basically from every single vendor, we need multiple pieces of documentation, insurance, all of these forms, and that's. And like, so it scales just directly to the number of vendors we have. So the more vendors we have, the more work we have to do. It's not like you get more vendors, so you have less per vendor work. That was interesting. The other thing is a couple like key things that came up were also insurance. Does the city provide insurance for like events, or do we have to because it basically there was a question of since we are a city commission, if we're holding an event, can we get insurance through the city, or is that for the event, or is that separate?
That's a good question. I think we'd certainly follow up. I think to the extent the commission is the coverage. I think there is some overlap from the city's perspective, but it would not extend to the vendors per se, if they were.
Yeah, it says that they have to do separate.
Right.
Okay, and then there was also a piece about, like, if you have certain food vendors, and you also need a portable restrooms and then all of that. So is that something that would be provided by the city, or does that come out of our budget?
That comes out of it.
Okay, that makes sense. Significantly more difficult.
Yeah, so think of it like, like Farmers Market is a great example, right?
Yeah.
So it's an organization, association that puts up the event, almost like a special event for it. And whoever they do bring to participate, they're required to have their own, insurance requirements. If they're serving food, they have to make sure they have their health permits from the county. So it is a process. I think where you can leverage some of that is invite folks that are already familiar with participating in these types of events because they likely already have all those requirements met. And then it just becomes a process of obtaining that information and document, right? And making a submission. So as opposed to I think just identifying new vendors that have not participated in such, I think the tier would be identify vendors that have experience in that, and so they likely meet the many of the requirements already.
Okay, I think the part that is tricky then is, again, it goes back to our entire fundraising issue, right?
Yeah.
Where, we need money to do a lot of these things, so, yeah, like, it's difficult to figure out, like, we need, like, for example, like, for, whether it's like coordinating the bathrooms on site or like things like that, where, or, submitting the applications, you need to submit, like, but you can't collect the money from the vendors until we have the fundraising plan. So this is, looking a little bit more difficult than as the more you look into
Yeah,
it.
and I haven't reviewed the actual document, the proposal per se, but I'll
Yeah.
provide some feedback.
Okay,
Maybe again, this is just thought process, right? Maybe there's a initial one-time donation from an entity to kind of have that seed money that will help them get the effort underway. Knowing that the long-term goal is the fundraising efforts coming out of it, right? So I think maybe starting there to identify an interest that may have some one-time contributions.
That would be like more, you mean like more of like an external source, not like an internal city source.
Correct.
Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, so.
Like we try to raise some money to organize a multicultural festival, something like that. Kind of.
Yeah, so it could be, basically we're going to approach organizations that have an interest in arts and culture and that it aligns well with their mission and they're willing to support the commission's efforts by making a contribution towards, this event.
So we need to find a sponsors. That's the main word, sponsor to.
So sponsor to
sponsor.
do the initial funding and then anything kind of,
So we
but-
expect minimum from the city. Maximum, we need to find a sponsor here and
Yes.
there, vendors, they participated and they pay.
Correct, yeah, unless the commission already has a existing, sponsorship or donated money
Mhm.
balances. That's to the extent that you would have, or when the commission does when the city does a budget process every 2 years. As part of that process, commissions request budgetary requests as well as priority requests as well, so. That would also be another opportunity where the
Yeah.
commission can go ahead and submit for limited city council allocation or Parks and Culture Commission.
Sounds good. No, thank you very much, because in the beginning, we need a city budget request, a little
Yeah,
bit.
so I think
special.
you'll have that opportunity if you're not able to make progress on the initial proposal per se. From the city's perspective, that opportunity would be as part of the budget development process, and I expect that'll probably start in January, end of December, January. Go through that process.
Sounds good.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I wanted to say about that. First, thank you for looking into that. It is a lot, very much becomes a deterrent for
yeah.
for new event folks planning. So for you to dive in there, that's amazing. I think there's ways to work within the guardrails that the city has placed in ways where like for like the bathroom situations, for example, if we were to do it in a little park in downtown, maybe collaborating with the Center for the Arts, which has restrooms in there, so not needing to necessarily like rent restrooms or porta potties, collaborating, with another
Right.
entity next door. If we had it at La Casa has restrooms already, right? So, different, like thinking of creative ways where we can basically meet the needs of the city, the city has required, without sort of like an expense on our side.
Mhm.
So I think that's like one of the requirement for the vendors themselves is one that we deal with a lot through Ofrenda Festival, but that onus is on the business to have their to have those documentations. And we haven't, the responsibility hasn't been on us to provide, to basically collect all of that and present it to the city. They are supposed to have, the entities are supposed to have that documentation and have it readily available in case it's requested. And so that's been at least the operations of how we currently function and other larger festivals. So, and unless that's, so basically, it wouldn't necessarily be on you to collect all of that information from everyone, but you would let them know clearly these are the requirements. If you can produce that, then you can be part of the festival. If you can't, then, work on that so that next time we do an event, you're ready to, to work. Especially because we're a city entity, we want to follow those requirements, but also but it's also not all on us. It's the vendors themselves have to be able to produce that. I think that's why I was mentioning about like working with folks who have already done things in the city, so they already know what's needed of them. Yeah, and
I think
then
I misunderstood because I think that my understanding at this point was that we, like the event organizer needs to consolidate that information and present it to the city and the county, whichever one requires some of this. So it sounds like it's actually on the vendors and not actually on the organizer.
well, the vendors, as in like an artisan or arts business, would be a different requirements versus sort of like a food vendor or food truck. Those we do collect and then present to the county and the city for certain things. They need temporary food facility permits, right, and all those things. But especially with food vendors, you want someone that's worked with the county and the city before. That's gonna make your life so much easier. But the other vendors, I believe the minimum is, their Gilroy business license, and you can also, I don't know if it requires it here, but you can also ask them to obviously produce their own certificate of insurance for themselves and in the event that something happens, since they're not covered by the insurance that the city's providing, so. Yeah,
That is helpful to know.
yeah. So basically what I'm saying is if at some point y'all wanna like, I can help potentially look over some things and give you just the advice that I have from doing events and there are other folks on my team who know more than myself. So if you are looking for some feedback there, I can help support that too. So.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I know the planning for this started before I joined, but I would like to join the
Yes.
subcommission, the team to, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing is we would have to be very careful about Quora, right?
Correct, yeah, so I think from a subcommittee perspective. You probably have room for maybe one more,
So we can have 4 people without quorum.
not for it.
And it's also Commissioner Zamora.
Is there
Please.
an alternate like situation that could, like, knowing they would be the ones responsible for executing, there's only 3? Yeah. Like you don't show up
Like
today.
a sub part.
Yeah,
so
I
that
think you
we
can
can-
certainly have one-on-one meetings individually if the subcommittee members can certainly have one-on-one conversations with others, just not getting the form together.
I have a question. So, regarding the vendor, so I understand about the food vendors, they should be a licensed one. What about the jewelry vendor or clothing vendor? They are mostly, in my mind so far, is entrepreneur. They are doing from home. Would they be able to join or the licensed one?
Yeah, so of our couple thoughts, right? So I think as long as you're looking to conduct a sale that qualifies as a business transaction, so that would, whether you are registered as a entity or not, as a sole proprietor, that is income and subject to a city's business license requirement that has been based on minimum rent. That you can obtain today by just applying online, filling out the application, the processing fees, and then in turn you'll get what's called a business license certificate. That becomes your nexus of submitting it to whatever event you're going to be participating at. So for Gilroy, as long as you're registered, whether it's sole prop, LLC, whatever have you, I think that's the baseline requirement, right? And I think, that's fairly easy to get.
They need to pay some
There's
money.
processing fees, I think about $17,
Oh,
for the actual application per se. Again, depending on where you're operating out of, there might be some additional inspections required. Again, if you're operating out of home, I don't expect significant inspections, but if you have handling chemicals, if you're handling, depending on again, what kind of tools, equipments you're using, our fire department may want to go in and take a look, make sure that you're handling these chemicals or whatever controlled items are adequately
okay.
handled.
Because, yeah, I was thinking like there's a lady I know, couple of, like they are making soap from home, or jewelry from home, and they love to
And if
participate.
they're already retailing elsewhere, it's likely they already have a business license because other.
No, they're not. You can say like somebody have a hobby and part-time they are doing.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, whoever wants to participate, they need a certificate,
Minimum business license certificate within the city limits.
business license. Thank you, ma'am.
I have one random question, and this is by no means, I'm not saying that we're gonna do this, but I just want to know, like, what the thoughts are. If, like, say, like, for example, like, there's a farmer's market and there's other events like this. Thoughts on possibly bundling multicultural day with an existing, like, event? Like, like, so it would be private, like, those are private events, but bundling with that, like, collaborating with them. So that, like, if they have the infrastructure, they already draw a certain amount of crowd, and then we say, okay, we're gonna also put in, like, whatever this cultural aspect is. Again, I'm just throwing it out there as is that even possible? Is that something that we should do, or should we try to do our own thing?
Yeah, I think again, from a city's perspective, it's who's gonna be your primary host of events, right? Whether it's one event or two separate events. It sounds like you'd have to have one organization be the primary to make all the submissions, and whether what you call it, I think that could all be looked at, right?
My perspective is now you're thinking here. Now that's what I'm talking about. Yes, I think that's exactly the right strategy to consider, like you said, if there's already folks coming to something, it's consistent, like you said, the farmer's market. Just this last Sunday, I was like, man, I wish they had some like live performances here. That would be really cool, so already thinking, about, saying, hey, when, can we look in advance to one of the Sundays that you're doing? We'd like to come in and sort of like present this type of addition to the event, right? That also they still are the leading entity in the permitting process. Of course, they already know what the requirements are. If your vendors, if you can just curate like a selection of vendors that could then participate as part of that, I'm sure they would be more than happy to fill out a few more spots. The only thing you'd have to then consider is, if you're charging fees to be a vendor, then there's probably a profit share happening there with that entity because they're gonna want some of that. So I think there's where you think of like the trade-offs about like what to consider, right? So.
That's true.
Mm.
The only, then we need to add just a little bit more difference than the farmer market because the multicultural day. So what we decided, like we will hire or not hire or require or request every single representative from the different nation. So not, we will avoid to repeat it.
Mhm.
So that's the other thing we need to work on it. Like we need to specify like this vendor is represented to Vietnam, they represented to Lebanon, Pakistan, whatever.
Mhm.
So that's the thing we need to, we need to present the multicultural. Everybody
Got it.
have to present. But that's a good idea. We can do that.
Okay. We good there?
Yeah, were there any concerns from anyone for if we approach it that way?
We're just doing homework.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, see? I like it. Everything is possible right now. Everything is possible. Explore it until you hit the dead end and see if there's a way around it. If not, then turn back around and do another way.
And we are learning too.
Yeah, exactly. This is great. I applaud your efforts, and I think that's exactly what the kind of thinking we need. So that's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think the other things we said, I don't think there's been, obviously worked on the gala, arts and culture strategic plan or the public arts resource document. We get to sort of move on those things. In fact, we don't have, I think we decided that we would focus on these top two things because of the fact for the fundraising, for the, description to that, so. Okay, now I think it's moving on to the next item, which I believe, what number is that? 7.2, the discussion of the annual presentation.
Yeah, so this is then another standing item on our agenda, where we have submitted to us an outline of this presentation that is separate sent out. Just a few reminders for the commission, the presentation needs to be submitted to our city clerk on Thursday of this week. And that's the PowerPoint presentation, and the council meeting on Monday starts at 6 p.m. and, presentations to the council is the fourth item on the agenda, and during the presentation, either Harjo or I will pull it up on this side computer right here, so Chair Dia, I believe you're presenting, you can come right up, and then the other members of the commission are welcome to sit in the front row by the staff podium.
Be ready for a very busy night. Just blasted out who's gonna be here at the council. So just be prepared.
I was
And
gonna.
I mean that in a wonderful way. I'm just saying.
Is there an expected time this might happen? Like, if, is it likely it's not gonna hit till 7 or, what kind, just a range, I assume it's a range.
At the beginning of the agenda,
Okay.
though I think
Yeah.
there'll be the likelihood of it being on time is
Okay.
is very high.
Yeah.
So, we do have a closed session which starts at 5 o'clock.
Right.
We do expect that closed session to end before 6
Got it.
or at 6 and resume the regular city council meeting at 6 o'clock. So I would encourage again, just from a participation in getting the seat perspective, come a little bit early. Because we are
Early,
expecting a full
early.
House. And you're gonna do every other items.
Great, yeah.
It's 17.
The other part that
Monday, Monday.
I would also request that all you guys read up on AI and all this into the building. And if you can, feel comfortable, talk about it in a favor for a minute or so.
For,
The culture center, the building, a lot of people are opposing.
I think we should revert back to the topics of
Yeah.
the agenda, but
Yes.
certainly I think that offline discussion.
Thanks.
So I think the other piece that I'd like to add is, so do we have a count on slides? So generally, these presentations are about, 45 minutes and then leaving some opportunities for the council to have some Q&A. Piece for you as well. So,
Yeah,
and I expect council will be questions and comments.
yeah, I'm excited. I think, at the highest level, I'd love to hear mostly about like, structure or flow, feedback on structure and flow, I think is the kind of feedback I'm looking for. I think the way I present is usually not reading verbatim what's on the slide, so I think less worried about the exact words that I'm using, unless there's something in there that you're like, you definitely don't use that, But I would say let's focus on the structure, sort of like flow of things. I will take any feedback that's expressed today and then build out a slide, a couple slides that will sort of reflect that. So I'll be doing that in time for the Thursday end of day delivery, or what's the
Maybe 12.
12?
Yeah,
Okay,
Thursday.
so okay, let me put that. Deadline.
And also, can we add and expanding public art or anywhere like we are working on the multicultural festival? Should we need to talk about it or not? Not yet.
So I can, if you want, since this is the first time y'all are seeing this and this is fresh off the press, I could walk through it real quick and then you'll kind of see how I kind of present it. I think firstly, just letting the council know that this is a couple years of work that we're presenting to them. I think the biggest like case study that we can present, the biggest win that we have to present at this point is the For the Love of Gilroy campaign. And, we've shown a good track record with that. We're continuing it, right? So just getting into it a little bit about like what we've been able to accomplish since 2024. I don't have the exact number of submissions. Is that something y'all
I
can?
feel like I may have sent that over to you at
You
one point, so I'll
probably
take a
did.
look. And
Yeah.
then, I'll get those numbers for you again.
Yeah, that way I can include that as data points. But I think what's cool about each year is that we did something, sort of like the collaboration with city staff is really clear about how we've been working with the city, and I think that's part of like, I think like the magic that we have with this commission is that we've sort of created a really strong working partnership with city staff, and so in 24 that looked like basically presenting new processes and strategies and even policies at that point, because we had never produced something like this to the public. So, and then also requiring, payment for the artist, that the city now owns the art, right? So these are all new things that the city hadn't done before. So kind of again working collaboratively. And then in 2025, kind of coming back with it again, and we actually had to sort of define the new like city level like fundraising policy, which didn't exist before. So I think that was another sort of win of like the collaborative work between the commission and the city. And then of course, this year looking to sort of refine on those processes. Right now, clearly taking feedback from the council and saying, hey, we're gonna say 4 of the 14 are now are sort of reserved for youth. And realizing though, one of the big takeaways, which I want to highlight here that helps all our work, is like the need fundraising as a need
Yes.
at this point, because we don't have like an endowment that's just gonna run the For the Love of Gilroy at this point, right? That could be a strategy in the future, but at the moment we don't have that. So I think, and then taking a quick second to say this year submissions open August 31st to December 4th. We'll be doing the marketing on that. And then just a quick recap on the numbers over the first 2 years, right? That's 24 artists, and downtown banners, $12,000, paid out to Gilroy artists, which is economic activity, right? And then we have now sort of set like a defined timeline for how For the Love of Gilroy happens, which makes it easier to replicate moving forward, regardless of who's on the commission. So I think that's important. We then move into like the expanding public art, which means like not just For the Love of Gilroy, but all the stuff we still do in the background is increasingly like diverse public art projects, a few murals there of sort of like developments, project, and a couple like interesting projects like the augmented reality project that we supported for the downtown Paseo, and also the public art installation for the Monterey Family Apartments, which is to come. And finally, I think, moving forward, the building of the infrastructure. So I think we've continually asked ourselves, what are the systems that we need to do this work outside of the day-to-day, the things that if we kind of embed into the system, then it allows us to do our work more easily. Like I mentioned before, the fundraising policy, public art development requirements. We've talked about what are the impact or art in lieu fees, and how do we, what is their policy currently around that? We've discussed a public art resource guide potentially for developers, the updating of the arts and culture strategic plan, and sort of again the sustainable arts funding. So I think we've sort of gotten to the point where we're asking the bigger questions, and so I think that's important of us to, yes, execute on the community outreach, but also start thinking about looking ahead. And so with that, and now with the commission at full capacity, I think we all share in the excitement of continuing our partnership with city staff, and just looking at like, community engagement really, I feel like, is the differentiator with our commission as our mission. Arts and culture as, of course, like the vehicle to do that, and then fundraising as a necessary feature of the work that we do. Of course, we're still figuring that part out, and we'll do our best to find the avenues to get that fundraising. But I think we have sort of like a stable platform now to move forward on, and so that's essentially what I'll go through. With, I would say, probably 1, 2, 3, 4 slides, it looks like. I will likely have things, well, I never count on slides as the indicator because I use slides sometimes to only show certain amount of information as I'm speaking. So like I like I keep the attention on the thing I'm talking about. So usually I use slides like, it's digital, so it's like whatever, let's keep making slides. So, but the time will be, it's kind of like what I just did now, keeping it short,
Perfect.
so.
I think,
Okay.
so right, we're doing it.
So how many minutes they give it to you?
I think we said 5 is probably good, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like that, yeah. So I think almost exactly what I did there, I think I'm gonna try to keep, right, the commission or the council will have this presentation previously, so I won't have to go through all the numbers. The community will be able to look at the screen and see the numbers. I think my job is really just telling the story and let the numbers on the screen kind of like support that. And I think yeah, so at this point, I'd love any feedback if there's anything at the moment we'd like to call out, and then also just again, I would like to show the number of submissions because I think there is a significant jump from year 1 to year 2. So, oh, perfect,
2024 was 37 submissions.
nice,
2025 was 65.
nice.
Wow.
Oh, there you go. Already, so I'm
Now,
looking.
each year there are 32 submitters. Last year there's people who submitted multiple,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And so, that is something that,
Can differentiate maybe or whatever.
yeah, like both years had 32, but there was a jump
Got
in submissions there still, so. 37 for 2024 and submissions and 65 submissions for 2025.
Oh, it's good to know.
Yeah, I think I just didn't think about the fact that people could submit more than one.
Yeah.
Mhm. So there you go.
That is.
They can only win once.
Yeah.
We have fun going around
Yeah.
and judging them. Well, I say we're judging them, but that's what it is. It's
Admire.
Yeah.
This is great. I do have a couple questions or comments.
Mhm.
One of them is, can we bring visual aid, like the beautiful display that, brought, last for National Night Out where we had the actual banners displayed? Is that possible to just have it at the side? Obviously, like you wouldn't be taking it up and down, like you wouldn't be taking it apart. It would be like set up ahead of time and then for the duration, is that like something we could have? It's like basically.
It's, you're talking about the poles.
That,
that
yeah,
hold
the pipe and
banners up?
drape.
It held 2 banners up, towards the back of the canopy.
Yes, like we kept it toward the back of the canopy, but if it was up there while you're presenting.
Dude, I think that.
And we need a banners to go.
Hold it up.
Easily move out.
Yeah.
Without taking it apart.
Yeah, you
that's-
just take it up and
that's-
move it.
It's light,
I think
it's.
And then you
in
can just
middle.
move it into the back office.
This is the back of the ribbon.
Yeah,
Ribbon
like-
is there. Wow.
I can wear it, we can figure out.
When you wear the shirt.
Yeah.
The artist, you don't mind
Yeah.
bringing it again.
Yeah, I think that should be fine. I'll let you know.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
for Monday, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
so we just
Yeah,
need
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
band ahead of
I'd
time.
be very busy.
A lot of people. Yeah, that was my first request, just to make it so that people aren't like, oh, another PowerPoint.
Mhm.
And then the other thing is actually, especially since we're gonna expect a full house and this is a way to get people's attention. In your introduction, like I actually really, really liked your looking ahead slide, like these 3 points were really like, they're short and to the point. Can we have that in as part of the intro? As like when you go up there, you introduce yourself, you introduce like Arts and Culture Commission and people don't really know what we're doing.
Mhm.
So,
Sort of like start with your ending and with the way you start.
Yeah.
kind of thing. I like that, yeah.
I think our council would appreciate that.
Yeah, usually that's a good strategy, like say the most important thing at front and then also say the most important thing at the end, so that's a good.
and then with that last one where it says fundraising as a feature, I liked how we mentioned endowment. and budget. So maybe we can rephrase that one point as fundraising or budgetary allowances somewhere in town, or something that would be like kind of hint at like, oh, in the future, we will be asking for more funding.
Maybe it's like something that feels a little less like grassroots, because I mean, yes, there'll be components of grassroots, but maybe it's like fund development, as using like a different word like that, like fund development. Strategy, or I don't know, maybe there's, cause,
Fund development is somewhat neutral and it's very, it means something. I mean, I'm not because it means something to me,
Yeah.
but fund development, I mean,
mhm,
you can rephrase it in the modern era, I mean, one way or the other, but fund development, you're using energy
yeah,
to get more funds.
yeah. Does that kind of like get at what you're trying to say? I know adding examples would then take away from what I think. Yeah, yeah.
It's like something that's like fundraising kind of takes away, like it kind of puts the, I don't want to say burden on like the community, but we do have the support of the city, we can get the support of the city, so I think hinting at that would be nice.
And maybe then it's something, in the building infrastructure, the fundraising policy, or because I have kind of 2 points there that kind of refer to funding. I think the sustainable arts funding might be something where I can like elaborate or like pull up the threads there. Because that's kind of the point that you're trying to make.
Yeah.
Like this is like a collective effort. This isn't just like, have the city, put money in a box, but it's like, let's all collaborate, on that. So I think that's a good idea.
But you know where the money goes when you give it, it goes to the city, because I know that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, and that's it. So I appreciate that. Other feedback? No?
I guess one more thing is that, I know you, especially since you said that you're not going to be using the slides directly to be reading out loud or anything. I know we talked about like trying to consolidate photos and like, content from the last several years. Is there a way to just have that possibly like, not like, I don't know if, just put a bunch of those pictures on these slides, so it's not just.
Yeah,
numbers.
no, I agree. I think that's why I like to use a lot of slides. So I can easily show a slide of just a photo as I speak, or as I introduce a topic, and then quickly jump into the text format of that. But even in the way we format the slides, there's ways to probably sneak in a photo there too, so that way it's not like just text on the screen.
And if there is a photo and the data, just look, people more attention on that.
Yeah.
Just numbers, nobody pay attention.
Yeah,
It's more engaging when there is a picture.
But it really depends upon this gentleman up there.
yeah,
Yeah.
How it
yeah.
goes.
Yeah, we can, I won't break into poetry, but I'll keep for it, right, a little.
Haiku?
Light sleep.
Haiku?
Light sleep, hey, like haikus are quick, so. Okay, I think we're good there then, if, no more feedback, that puts us into the next item, which is past tailing events and preparation for future tailing.
Thank you, Chair. This is another ongoing agenda item to give the commission an opportunity to discuss the National Night Out event, as well as other past student events, upcoming events, and future event planning. There's one item that staff wanted to remind the commission of, during the National Night Out event last week, we noticed that there were volunteers, working at the Horticulture Commission booth that were providing, henna tattoos. We wanted to give the commission a friendly reminder that all volunteers must complete the required paperwork and go through the proper approval process with our volunteer coordinator before assisting the commission at events. And then in addition, any activities such as the henna tattooing or face painting or other items must be approved by staff prior to being offered at these tailoring events.
Good, and that's good to know. I think that's new to us because we haven't done that in the past, or haven't done it in a while. So I think that's helpful to to know, is there an outline of that process and structure for us to
No.
kind of have like as a one sheeter or something like that, or?
Volunteer approval process, I do believe, Andrew, our volunteer coordinator, has
Right.
something that, I can share, but as far as the activities that go on it,
Yeah, I think if I'll just add a couple more comments. I think it's more of just a administrative procedure
Sure.
that we just need to kind of go through.
Yeah.
If there are volunteers that are willing to help, we just need to make sure they go through the city
Yeah.
departments to get that done. That safeguards the city as well as. the-
I think
Right.
Mina
And I
exchanged.
think there was some interest to explore getting volunteers, so I'm not sure particularly which commissioner we worked with in the past. But what we will do is we'll go ahead and send out that volunteer process, registration and clearing
Good.
process
Right.
to the whole commission, so that way,
Yeah.
if you do have any folks, it's always good to get them cleared and
Yeah.
approved beforehand, that way on any future events, they're more than welcome to
Sure.
participate.
Could you tell me what does it involve, like
I-
background checks or something?
no background check. I believe it's a, liability form for volunteers and,
It's the registration process, making sure that they're documented. As volunteers with the city. There's additional requirements if they're gonna be working, say, for example, in the recreation department. Then there are some certain background checks that are required, but for the commission's activity like the national night out, I would expect it.
Okay.
And background.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so it seems like we just need to keep that in mind for, like you said, administrative sort of processes that we need to have, so that way. And then once we do it, I
Yeah.
assume once we get it done,
Yeah.
once we'll know kind of.
Check off the top.
But Mina, I think you get the permission, right? Remember you, for the dance and for the henna? You said you
Yeah,
have
I
a
spoke to the
police department.
police department. I was in touch with Selena, who was organizing. But yeah.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, we'll circle back.
But
I think
it's
really
good
making
to-
it the volunteers first.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Phil.
Is there thoughts on, obviously y'all went, so you don't need to discuss that necessarily. But is there, and I guess availability or appetite to sort of, pop up at a, like, where else and when else would we like to sort of pop up as a commission?
For the next event?
But I think you had mentioned potentially going to Downtown Live,
Yeah, I'll be
Right,
there
as
this
a-
Thursday.
you know, so I would like to think that we can be flexible on how showing up, what that means for us. And we don't necessarily always have to have a tent, a table and thing, you know? I think as easy as like what Greg was saying before, put on your badge, walk around and pass out some stuff. I think that
Yeah.
could also consist, 'cause I feel like that also like suffices for also for community engagement. So that, and then this Downtown Live is the last one of the season, so I
Yes.
think that'll be a good
Yeah.
place to show up. In the future, kind of think ahead.
There's a car show is coming in September, Gilroy Car Show.
There's with the Chamber of Commerce.
One is here in Senior Center. It's in end of August, I guess.
What did you say
28th.
about the
The
senior?
car show in the parking lot.
Oh.
They're coming soon, so we can show up there just as you said, just put the badge and just go. And the other car show is in proper, in the park, I think somewhere.
Huh.
And they were asking for the tabling. I will email to you. I will forward the information they were asking. It's through the Gilroy Chamber of Commerce. They are doing it.
I think it's the Harvest Festival question.
Maybe something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe we can participate over there too, or just go show them.
Yeah, I like
Both
that.
options are, but we have to pay for the table. I think city.
Well, I think we can chat with them about what does it mean to show up as a commission. You know, we're not necessarily selling anything at this point. We're just tabling only. You know, is there a way that we can kind of show up? you
Yeah.
know?
that's
Cause
okay.
again, like any of the fees will still come from our budget. So-
Yeah,
So not that, I don't know what the fee is at this point, but I
There
assume
is
that
$100.
we can't pay it. I assume we can't afford it, well, you know, so yeah, exactly. So I think it comes with like one-off discussions with organizations if they're interested or they're open to sort of
I can
you know,
call them and
yeah.
I can check with them.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's a good idea. Part of city we can pretend.
Related to that, it might be helpful for all of us individually to have a smaller, like not a fixed staff, but some staff of the, for the love of Gilroy flyers, so that if we do show up individually, we don't have to come check in with the city to get those funds.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do we have an estimate of how many we can sort of expect to print and maybe a time where we can, because I know it's not gonna be like, let's do, a couple thousand prints, right? But like what could we expect, you think, within
Yeah,
reasonable?
I think we can have that conversation with our communications engagement teams, what they're able to fill up within the existing budgets that they have.
Okay.
Maybe there's an opportunity to do, it doesn't need to be the full page flyer, but maybe there's a quarter sheet or some other, which is maybe
That's
easier.
true. That's true.
Um,
I like that.
Gives us more too. if we do that.
Mhm. Yeah.
We could also keep it with us and just be like, hey, scan the QR code.
True. Mhm. And we'll, yeah, 40 design. So, okay. So it sounds like we have some idea between now and the next commission meeting of where we might be able to show up. And we can maybe expect to hear back from y'all about, potentially coming to over here and picking up some flyers. To do that. And I think that sounds good to me.
Eileen, you
And
said you may have some left from.
And
Yes, we
Ruben,
might have a few.
sorry.
We might have a few of the full page ones, so I have to check, the items that we collected. Do you know?
That's
Okay.
good.
So if possible, send us a digital copy so we can train by ourselves if we need extra.
Hmm.
So everybody should have it,
Yeah,
so we can use our.
do you
phone.
mind, I can't send that email, but you can send that email.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We can use our we can do digital marketing, scan the code, here's my
Yeah.
phone, scan the code.
Exactly, or even getting some of what if there's a remainder of the full page, laminating that and having that always available, there for, like you said, scanning with QR code or whatnot, so. I think we can be smart about our printing. Okay, it looks like where am I? Looks like we're moving out into the next phase of new business. The 8.1 discussion, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
sharing it.
agenda item title for 8.1 is discussion regarding the placement and use of city-owned art within City Hall, including the council chambers. This is a new item before the commission, and the recommendation here is discussion regarding the placement and use of city-owned art within City Hall, including the council chambers. If the commission decides to work on this project, the city of Gilroy has a permanent art collection that began in 1977 with pieces displayed throughout City Hall. You might have seen a few of them, but there are currently no pieces in the council chambers. So this item is intended to introduce the idea of establishing a more formal process for the placement and potential rotation of the city's artwork within City Hall. And the purpose of this discussion is to determine whether the commission is interested in adding this project to its work plan.
Thank you for that. I have a lot of questions, I feel like, at this point. I think that's a cool idea. The first question is the council chambers essentially what we're looking at as far as our gallery space? Or is that the intended sort of location at this point?
I'll jump in, I think, that's one of the ideas, right? How do we activate, when art in the chambers, but, I'll remind, we also have a city hall, which is connected. And there's opportunities within the hallways, as well as the city hall lobby areas as well. Thoughts on basically rotating on some sort of a schedule, so that way folks that are going to the various city facilities, right? So we're introducing the concept as city hall, but think of it other city facilities as well.
No, it's cool.
There's an opportunity to do that as well. As I understand, there was a process many years ago, but COVID
Yeah.
and all these other things happened. So yeah.
And the city does have an outdated document or log of the art pieces and their, I guess, last known location. But there's been some moving around of different art pieces in City Hall and that's another mission can look at is, I guess, logging them and then deciding where their new home might be.
Oh, it's an interesting question. Because the next question was gonna be about how extensive is our collection? What part of that collection is suitable for being mounted to a wall? And then where is it so we can see it, see if,
And
all
those
that
are all
good
great
stuff.
ideas. That's what we,
Yeah.
as a discussion, we're gonna bring this
Okay.
forward. If there is interest, I think this can get added onto future agendas with some
Right.
specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
action items.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah,
I agree
because
with that.
we need to understand.
Yeah.
It's-
So is there interest, I guess now it's allowed me- is there interest within our commission to entertain this idea and then go ahead and like learn more about the process?
Yeah.
that would be up to-
In the next agenda.
I think at first point, I just want to see if there's like a thumbs up situation happening.
Would be, like you were
Yeah,
saying.
so we can certainly bring
I
back.
mean, but what does it entail? I mean, the art and then go from there.
Mhm.
It's quite a project.
Yeah,
It actually, I know I have a lot of art in our family and generations and it ends up being quite a project.
so maybe it's just more like this.
Let's do
No, I
it.
don't.
Yeah, I love it.
Let's do it.
Oh, that's success for sure. At a future meeting, I love it.
That's what he said.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, it's only hitting, it takes me a while to process sometimes, so that's helpful.
The next few meetings will be. Maybe not the next meeting, but some of the meetings after we will be talking about submissions for our other projects. And things. A little bit to that.
Than the normal, yeah. Okay. And then it's looking like 8.2 is regarding the rec division assessment.
Yes, so agenda title for 8.2 is information regarding the city's recreation division assessment. The city has launched a comprehensive evaluation of our recreation programs and services in collaboration with Pros Consulting, K2A, and ETC Institute. This project will run through spring of 2027 when final recommendations and an implementation plan will be presented to the city council and Parks and Recreation Commission. A major component of this project is community engagement, and the first round of community engagement occurred last week with the launch of the project's website, some open houses at the senior center, and the consultants were also at National Night Out. There's also an online community survey available to all residents, along with a youth survey and an interactive vision board on the project website. And the consultants will also be conducting a statistically valid survey from October through late November. And then there's going to be another round of in-person engagement in October, so. Once again, this information and specific dates is on the city's website as well as the project team's website. So we really wanted to bring this item forward to encourage commissioners to complete the online
Right.
surveys and maybe attend and encourage others to attend an October open house event, as well as just the general sharing of the project and information with, the communities you interact with.
I love it.
I did it already.
I did too.
At
I did too.
the event, and they were giving Adidas ball.
Oh, yeah, they were next to you, right?
Yeah,
The
next to
National
us,
Night
yeah.
Out.
I did it.
Yes.
That's that.
Fun fact, Barry was a host,
Mhm.
city, Santa Clara. The FIFA organization shipped out to the city, promotional soccer balls for
Yeah.
kids.
That's
That we were
cool.
able to leverage and hand out. to-
Yes, we did.
I love that.
was a really.
My son was so excited.
The other thing I'll add is, this information is regarding the recreation division's assessment, so which
Right.
is primarily focused on programming and
Right.
services. Council and our public works team is also pursuing what's a recreation and trails master plan. There might be some overlap on both of the efforts, with respect to community engagement. We're kind of finalizing that piece as well. And then more information on that project will be laid out after Monday, because council is considering the approval of that. Contract on Monday, so,
Okay.
just know that they're two separate efforts, but there might be some overlap eventually. Particularly the firms that propose on both of it's the same firms.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
So.
Cool.
And I like their idea for survey. They are doing for so long. They were asking people, they did a very nice campaign about it. And when I feel it, I saw over there a lot of people participating it too. And I write out a lot of recommendation too. So it's a great platform.
That's
I
awesome.
like it. It's a great effort.
That's cool. All right. So let's get those, participate in the survey, do our civic duty. Okay, let's see, where are we at now? That's the end of the.
Future agenda.
9.
Okay, number 9, art related community event updates. I'll start really quick. I went to Rotary today and I sat with Whitney Pintello from the Pintello Comedy Theater. If you'd like one of these, you can have it. I have more. But it's the Fox on the Fairway play that is going out soon. So if you're interested in that, the second announcement I had is this Saturday, La Casa is having live lucha libre, so live wrestling.
Wrestling.
Yeah, so it's gonna be, it's this Saturday 4 to 8.
Cool.
So you're welcome. It's a free event. There's also live painting battles between different teams. So they're like going at it, like a whole thing. It's gonna be fun. And then the 22nd, the Saturday after, is our 1 year anniversary of La Casa. So please join us if you can. Live music, art, and all that good stuff. So
Yeah, we'd love
Happening.
to.
so that's all for me. Oh, and the downtown live, last downtown live. There you go.
Thursday downtown live.
Any other art related events? So
Mm,
now
They never end.
they never.
never
I
end.
mean, that's a beautiful problem to have.
Yay,
I appreciate that kind of problem.
And the new, whether they've moved down out of Milius and we do
Mhm.
art projects there now and
Cool.
and the 6th Street, so it's never ending. So
Mhm.
just peek your nose in and find what's happening.
I love it. Hey, now the next is the commission comments. Other commission comment, I have one thing, I would be I would love to open an invitation to whether it's for the both of those initiatives for for Parks and Recs and the Parks and Trails, I believe you said. Tabling opportunity at La Ofrenda Festival. So if the city is interested in having outreach to potentially 12,000 folks in downtown Gilroy, October 24th, then I would love to have the city there for community engagement purposes. So
Well, with that feedback and then people find some opportunities too.
cool. Any other commission comments?
No.
Oh, cool. Staff comment. Fresh out, fresh out. Zen, I love it.
One thing I'll mention is, as you go into the council meeting on Monday, effective July 1 by state law, we're
Right.
required to offer audio, video, telecommunications, so you'll also have some particular in the audience joining via Zoom as well. So not only folks that you'll have here in City Hall.
So, is there, where's the main camera at? Where should I be? Oh, is that camera one, camera two, tell me,
You
what
have
am I?
good coverage as long as you're at the podium presenting, just know that.
It'll be that one over there? That one?
Yeah, that's what we said.
And they're very good at it. Very good at it,
Yeah,
yeah.
cool,
Which is
alright.
your good side, you know.
Yeah.
That's
We
right.
do anticipate, that's a good call out, anticipate a lot of our
Yeah.
community will be there, so
Yes.
it may be
Get
good
here early.
to show up. There's a study session at 5, and so, I would say if you're here 10 minutes beforehand, then that should give you the pick of your litter as far as the seating goes, but. Yeah, if you show up at 6, there's a great chance that you guys will be dispersed amongst the crowd, so.
I like to show up half an hour early because the doors open when the meetings often end up early.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying,
And at 5 o'clock is open to.
yeah,
public as
yeah, no,
well.
I know,
Not a
but
closed
then,
session.
you know, then
5
5:30 is
o'clock is
over.
open to public as well.
And sometimes
If
it's
you have
open,
interest
but
in
that's
economic
over.
development.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what we're gonna be talking about.
But a lot of
Oh,
times
so
it's
that is
over.
open.
So
It
that
is
you
open.
can
Yep,
you
5
can
o'clock.
sneak in early, yeah, because it's over. Last time it was over
Yeah,
with
slave.
5:55 or 5:40.
That's great, awesome.
But
I think then we can, yeah, so then we're good on that, then any future agenda item requests from the commission?
It's just the item that we talked about, right, which was the city-owned garden.
Uh-huh.
We'll have that one on the next agenda, but it will probably pop on and off the agenda depending on when your right schedule.
Got it. Good to know. All right, so with that, we can adjourn the meeting at 7:46. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah.
Bam.
And it's